What's up guys, Caleb here with another installment of Reality Check, and today we are talking about 3 separate Razer mouses. I'm gonna go with mouses. We're talking about 3 separate Razer mouses. They come in at varying price points, they do different things better. Let's jump right into it. Okay guys, so today is all about the Razer mouses comparison, namely the Lancehead, the Basilisk, and the Abyssus. Now, they all come in at varying price points and they all do different things, but they still have really high DPI and they are high quality mouses. So what are you paying that extra amount of money for? What are you getting out of it? Let's talk about the Lancehead in a little bit more detail. The Razer Lancehead is the most expensive of the 3 mouses we've selected for this review. And whilst it is a bit more pricey, you do get a couple of extra buttons and features that go along with it. So it's an ambidextrous, symmetrically designed mouse. So for the lefties out there, this is probably the choice for you. It comes in at 111 grams, which is a bit heavier than typical professional players are looking at, but it's not a problem for me, at least the way I play personally. It has 2 buttons on each side, which have been pre-programmed to backwards and forwards, and there are 2 buttons on top for DPI adjustment. And speaking of the DPI, it comes in at 16,000 DPI, which is just unnecessary. I mean, I understand if people are using massive 4K displays, then that makes a relevant point, but other than that, not relevant at all. The cool things that come along with it in terms of some of the software features is that through Synapse you can set 5 different interval points of your DPI. So when you're using your DPI buttons to scroll through them, you can have pre-configured intervals of that DPI. So that's a really nice little touch. Other than that, it's a predominantly claw grip mouse, I would personally say, although I am a palm grip player, but it feels nice, it looks good, just the price is a bit heavy. That's all I have to say about the Lancehead. Next on the list is the Next on the list. Shut up, Gareth. Shut your filthy mouth. Next on the list is the Razer Abyssus. God damn it, throwing me off my game here. Next on the list is the Razer Abyssus. Next on the list is the Razer Abyssus. Now this is the cheapest of the 3 Razer mouses that we're reviewing today, and because it's the cheapest, it has the least features. It's basically a bare bones plug and play mouse. Now there is nothing inherently wrong with it. It's got a great build quality and the actual clickers themselves are quite large, which I'm a fan of. It comes in at 83 grams, which is a bit lighter than your standard mouse, but it's leaned more towards professional players. They prefer lighter mouses. I prefer something heavier personally. And also the one thing I think probably that I like about it the most is the rubber side grips, just because it feels nicer to hold and you get more traction on the mouse itself. But other than that, it comes with 3 different switchable DPIs. It's got 450, 1800, and 3500. But on top of that, you also have a switchable polling rate from 125 Hz to 1000 Hz. So basic mouse, basic price, you're gonna get basic results. Moving on swiftly. Last on the list and my personal favorite is the Last on the list and my personal favorite is the Razer Basilisk. This thing is awesome. The best thing about it is the thumb lip. It's such a weird word for something, thumb lip, like it's 2 separate body parts, a thumb and a lip. To me, that's hella strange. I'm like, what a weird name. Anyway, aside from that, the thumb lip is awesome for grip. I really enjoy it. It's actually something you'll find on a lot of Logitech mouses, but seems that Razer has adapted it for the Basilisk. I'm crazy about it. It feels so nice to hold and have that rest for your thumb. Also, the texture of it being rubber, it does get a bit dirty a bit quickly, but it's cool. I'm a big fan of it. Other than that, on the left-hand side, next to the thumb lip, or just slightly above it, it has 2 programmable buttons, obviously pre-programmed to backwards and forwards. And then on the top, it has DPI buttons, so for up and down. But the extra awesome little feature about this bugger is the Dpi Clutch. So let's just get this out of the way. It has a DPI range of 100 to 16,000, again, unnecessary. But the Dpi Clutch is what just makes this mouse and takes it to another level entirely. It basically toggles your DPI to a pre-configured level. So for things like sniping and you want to quickly lower your DPI so that you can make small movements finer, it toggles it on and off. But the thing about it is it's not a button. It's like a little clasp, little clamp thing that you can get 2 different lengths as well. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly. Overlay. See what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. That thing's dope. I'm a big fan of it. Also, just the overall look, build quality, and feel of the Razer Basilisk. This is my favorite mouse and the one I would personally go for because it also sits in between those two price points really nicely. Speaking of which, shut up in there, money talk! I think I heard something in my lung just screaming like that. At the time of this recording, these puppies, the Abyssus, the Basilisk, and the Lancehead were priced at $50, $70, $80 respectively. Roughly as well. Those aren't exact prices. I'm sure you can find deals online to get the best value for your money. But when we look at three different mouses that all have really decent DPI settings and are all pretty comfortable, you kind of have to balance the extra features for a winner, for the one you might choose. If we talk about comfort, the Basilisk wins, just because of its ergonomic design, and that thumb lip makes all the difference in the world. If we talk about DPI, they all cover the DPI rates that you might need them to for gaming. But then you look at the extra features, which is actually what you're paying for. None of them are wireless, but the Basilisk does have the thumb lip, it does have the little thing, the DPI adjustment toggle clutch, that's what it's called, the Dpi Clutch, and it's just got an overall better, cooler feel and still comes in at less than the Lancehead. So these are the things you need to consider. Let me know in the comment section below which one you guys would choose, and that pretty much wraps it up for this week's installment of Reality Check. Don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit subscribe, don't forget to put the lens cap on the camera when you're done using it, Gareth. And I'll catch you guys next week for another installment of Reality Check. That's me clicking a mouse. Peace!